Hello, Ken here, and thank you for tuning in to my model building and retirement channel. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to use bare metal foil before painting to expose emblems and lettering and script on your car. For an example here, this is the first kit that I built when I retired. So this is my first build in 45 years. But notice the script back here where it says Fairlane. Okay, so that's bare metal foil that I put on before I painted, and then I exposed the lettering after the fact. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right after the intro. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do bare metal foil before paint. And the reason we're doing that is bare metal foil before paint is a way of showing emblems and script on a car where it's like a chroming process where you put your paint on there and you keep sanding it away until you expose your bare metal foil, and it brings out like the chrome letters of your car. This Mustang script on this Boss 302 is not extremely pronounced, and there is a decal that comes with the kit that you have to just perfectly line up over the letters or it'll look like it's double printed, and that's doable. Another thing is, if you tried to paint that after the fact with like a toothpick and some silver or chrome, chances are, it's not real pronounced, chances are you're going to mess that up and get paint where it don't belong. So what we're going to do is we're going to put bare metal foil over that script, and then we're going to prime, then we're going to expose those letters again, then we're going to color, then we're going to expose the letters again, and then we're going to clear. And I'm going to show you how to all do that in this episode here. So first thing we're going to do is cut ourselves a little piece of foil. All right, so I'm using bare metal foil, and make sure it says new improved chrome. My understanding is if it doesn't say that it doesn't stick very well. I've never had that issue, but supposedly they had a problem with the glue for a while, but this stuff works really well. So I'm just going to cut me a piece off using a number 11 X-Acto blade, brand new blade usually for this, and just going to cut a piece long enough to cover my work, all those letters across the trunk here. I like to use a metal ruler because you can do a straight line. If you use plastic or wood, you might cut into it with your blade. I'm cutting very lightly here, so light that I'm not even going to cut through the paper below it. Just a piece big enough to cover all that letters across the trunk. Peel it up here on the end. Try to grab that with some tweezers. Okay. Then I get everything out of the way here. I get that ruler off of there, get my blade away from this so that I don't mar up this stuff because it's very delicate. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just place this piece across those letters and make sure they're fully covered. Okay, once I'm done, I'm going to just burnish that in really well with a Q-tip. Going to get in between each letter real good, make sure it's stuck. Now it's kind of like a regular Q-tip here. It has a little bit of a pointed end, but Hobby Lobby sells these little Q-tips here. They're a little bit more rigid and they're smaller and they have a nice little detailed point there. And I love these for bare metal foil because you can do some detail work around each one of those letters. And it won't scratch or tear your foil. Yes, you can use a dull toothpick. Just round over the end of a toothpick a little bit so that it's not too sharp, and that would work too. This is just my preferred method. Do what works best for you. Everything I do is just how I do it. It's not the right way, it's not the wrong way. It's just the way I do it. All right, so I've got that down really good. Now what I'm going to do is carefully cut out each one of those letters. So I'll be right back. All right, so next up, now you could do this just as one piece across the letters and just cut as close to them as possible. But because they're spread out so much, I'm going to carefully cut around each letter. Barely any pressure. So what I'm doing is I'm scoring beside each letter. Okay, now I got scored one direction, I'll go across the other direction now. So I'm working on a G. Okay, so next I'm going to try to carefully pull up my foil. And hopefully it just stays where I want it to. Use a toothpick to try to peel around each one of those letters. Okay, so I carefully cut around each one of the letters and get it as close as you can anyways. And then I'm just going to use my Q-tip again and burnish those down, make sure they're stuck really good, but at the same time being careful not to peel them up. Now, since this is before paint, each layer of paint is going to affix these better and better and better. You know, we're only going to be exposing the very tops of the letters when we clean these up, so they're going to get stuck down pretty good. They won't peel up on you after this entire process is done. All right, so we are ready to go to primer. I'm going to shoot MCW light gray lacquer primer on this first, and what we're going to do here is I'm going to shoot the primer, let that cure up, and then we're going to clean off those letters, and I'll show you how to do that. And then when we go to color, we're going to clean those letters up again to expose that chrome. And then finally we'll be going to clear coat. So I'll show you each one of those steps. I'll meet you at the spray booth and we'll get this thing under primer. Alright, so the primer has been allowed to set up for a few hours, and I've already lightly sanded the rest of the body. But let's look at that script back here now. And all I want to do here is just lightly sand across those letters. It won't take much because it's a raised area. And I don't really want to sand the area around it. So I'm kind of doubling up my, I'm working with my 5/1000 Trizac. And it won't take much. It'll be a little harder after the enamel color because that'll be thicker. Just lightly sanding back and forth. I always start out with my lightest paper, so I'm using Trizac 5000 here. But if this doesn't cut it, I'll get something a little bit more aggressive. I just don't want to overdo it. Okay, it's just starting to shine through. So just take your time. And again, I'm just folded over and I'm going light and I'm just letting it ride over the letters. Reverse my direction here to make sure I'm getting adequate coverage either direction. You can use a lacquer thinner too, but I'm trying to avoid that if I can. I don't want to reactivate the primer, but you can. You would just want it to kind of cure again for a couple hours before you try to color code it. Yep, starting to see the chrome shine through. The shine. So if you look, see if I can get you in the picture here with the shine. Got a little bit more to go, but you can start seeing now that the letters are shining through. And that's exactly the effect that we want in the end. So I'm going to sand just a little bit more. And I could have probably went with like 2000s and just knocked it out almost immediately. But I didn't want to go too aggressive. It's always better to go with your most minor abrasive that you can. And only step up if you have to. I'll try abrading it with a toothpick too. So I'm kind of burnishing it with the side of the toothpick here, just back and forth across the letters. You can hear it. Well, that's working really well. That's going to be nice. I can tell right now that the effect is going to be nice. Way better than the decal. All right, so I got to wash this, dry it real good, and then we'll go to color. Okay, so it's only been a few hours since I did the color coat with the enamel. And I put this in my dehydrator for 3 hours at 105 degrees. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove the paint from those letters now. And the reason I'm not gonna let this fully cure is I put that hardener into the paint. So the longer this cures out, the harder the paint gets and the harder it is gonna be to remove the paint from the script there. So I'm just gonna very carefully use 3/1000 Trizac and just lightly sand back and forth, and we'll take it from there. And once again, I start with a light grade sandpaper. And if necessary, we can also use a little bit of lacquer thinner. So first we'll try this. And again, I am just running it on the letters only, being careful not to touch the rest of the paint. Okay, it's starting to show through. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly sand some more. Be right back. All right, so I continued burnishing those letters with the tip of a toothpick very carefully, being very careful not to touch the rest of your paint there. Okay, so in my case, this is enamel that I am going to be adding decals to the car, and I'm going to do my bare metal foil, and then I'm going to be clear coating with 2K clear the entire car. So I will be clear coating the back of this. But if you were done at this stage and wanted to just polish your model out, all you have to do is polish where I sanded there, you know, because I did sand slightly the back paint there a little bit. So all you would have to do is just polish that up a little bit and you'd be done. But in my opinion, that's a lot better than the decal that came with it. And I think it's a lot better than if I was trying to paint those letters on after the fact. So I hope that helped. Well, I think that turned out pretty good, and it's pretty easy to do. Now, like I said, I'm going to be clear coating this because I still have to do decals all over it, and then I'm going to clear coat. But if you were done with your paint job and you're very careful and just hit your script, you should be done. But if you mar your paint behind it a little bit, don't worry about it. Just polish it up. If I was not going to clear coat or do decals, all I would do is I'd probably go over this with 8 thousandths and then 12 thousandths, and then get my polish out, and it would shine like new and everything would look great. So, and it will after I clear coat. So once again, if you like my content, please hit the subscribe button, like and comment below. Absolutely free, costs you nothing, and alerts you to all my videos as they come out. And share with your friends my channel. I appreciate the growth. You guys are helping me grow. I'm growing at an incredible rate. I'm gonna hit 3,000 subscribers soon. I really appreciate it, and I'm trying to keep the content coming out there to you guys best speed possible. So have a good day, and thank you so much for watching.